G'day everyone, welcome back to the Community Couch. Today we're doing the first of our Super Rugby in-depth squad previews before that kicks off in a couple of weeks. But before we get underway, Willie, how are you feeling after last week's Women's Super Smash Grand Final?
Yeah, absolutely thrilled by it. It really, really did quite the job for me. Just love watching every second of it. Probably going to go back and watch it again at some
Mm.
stage because it was just that much of an amazing spectacle. So yeah,
Yeah, cheers,
how
man.
about yourself? You enjoy that one?
I'm gonna do the same. Yeah, it was we've got fan mail on it, but yeah, I think it was absolutely one of the greats. So today what we're gonna do is we are going to preview the Highlanders, Crusaders, and Hurricanes best 23s for the upcoming season. We're gonna do drop a few of these every week, just to get everyone a little bit excited for Super Rugby. Before we do that, though,
Exactly. Get a bit wet and excited for it. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do that shortly after we get through these fan mails. So we do have our first voice message that we're gonna play as fan mail. So I'll play that one, and then I'll read out another one that we've got from Will.T from Nelson. So 1 second, Willie, you can respond.
Right.
You can respond to both pieces
Yeah.
if that's all right with you. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is from Jordan from Manchester.
Hi, just wanna say a couple of things. Can white teeth Buzz Lightyear, Johnny Bravo, jaw guy, can he actually shut up for like 2 seconds and just about the Phoenix and stuff? I just want to like talk about Chris Wood, and I want to hear more about Chris Wood after his beautiful performances. Maybe you can incorporate like Chris Wood joining the Phoenix as like a transfer. I think that'd be quite nice. But apart from that, you just like maybe actually talk about him. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, that is quite the. It sounds like he's out and about, and it must be like the pub or something, because it sounds like he's kind of on drugs or some shit. But
Yeah.
um, no, I do appreciate the sentiment there. Like, I think this is a New Zealand sport podcast, and Chris Wood is a New Zealand sportsman, and he is absolutely ripping and tearing in the Prem. I think
Yeah.
with his hat trick the other day.
Yeah.
Think he's gone up to like 17 or 18 goals. Like he's
Mm.
fourth on the top, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
Nah.
guess no one really saw it coming. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate the shout out from him.
Yeah, no,
Any thoughts for
absolutely.
yourself?
Yeah, although I think is he talking about me or yourself? He said white teeth, Buzz Lightyear, jaw, something.
I think you're the one with the jaw here, unfortunately,
Oh,
mate.
okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
need to start mewing or something like that. Whatever
Yeah,
the
yeah.
young kids call it, mewing to get up to your level.
So although he's having a good crack at me, I will back him here. Like we should have covered a bit more on Chris Wood, but obviously we've just been focusing on the leagues close to home, but we will start covering some New Zealand-based athletes doing good things overseas. I don't know if we're going to be talking about Chris Wood coming to the A League anytime soon because I just don't think it's happening. But
Mm.
yeah, he has had one of the most incredible seasons in New Zealand sport history. I think. I think he is by far in our lifetime the most underappreciated New Zealand sports athlete, and I do think that's because of like mainstream media in New Zealand not really covering football that much. Like I think the way I look at it is if you asked 30 random people on the street who they think is a bigger name or a better New Zealand sport athlete, sorry, a better New Zealand sport athlete out of Stephen Adams and Chris Wood, I reckon 28 of them would say Stephen Adams. But I don't think there's a
Mm.
chance Stephen Adams is even close to Chris Wood. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I think obviously basketball gets so much more
Mm.
um, of a platform, and obviously him being Valerie Villi's brother as well. They
Yeah.
quite froth himself over that narrative as well. It's pretty woke. So
Mm.
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Chris Wood, what he's doing is yeah, very underappreciated back home. So it's
Mm.
nice to finally see him start to get the recognition.
Yeah. Like to put it into perspective, like he's the third top goal scorer in the Premier League. Like that, this is like if Stephen Adams was the third top point scorer in the NBA. You know, like if he was
Mm,
essentially like an Anthony Edwards or this sort of level. Like yeah, it's they're not even comparable. Stephen Adams plays like, and again, we're not hating on Stephen Adams, but we just want to put it into perspective because a lot of people don't really understand what Chris Wood's doing. This would be the case of this would be like if Stephen Adams was an All Star. This is like essentially what Chris Wood is. He's got Premier League Player of the Month. Like he is actually incredible. If you look at the all-time scoring like leaderboard now, he's surpassed Fernando Torres. Like some of these huge names, It's looking like he's gonna potentially surpass Cristiano Ronaldo. He's almost up to Dimitar Berbatov and Van Nistelrooy. Like It's actually crazy, like
Mm,
the people that he's already passed. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I do want to show respect there. So that guy Geordie from Manchester, like, thanks for I
Mm,
guess giving that message to us so that we do check our
mm,
privilege a bit there and acknowledge what we should be
yeah.
acknowledging. Yeah.
He could probably be a bit nicer next time and not
Mm.
going on the personal attacks, but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
that's just food for thought.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. So now we will talk more about Chris Wood and what he's doing in the Premier League in another episode as well, because we do want to pay even more respect to what's happening there, because it is pretty bloody remarkable. And if he keeps
yeah.
it up for another couple of seasons, there will be an argument that he's New Zealand's best ever footballer. I would say. So anyway, I've got to get to the other piece of fan mail. You can respond to this one too. So this is from Will. Did you? Oh, you
Yeah.
might have seen this one. It came from Will.T from Nelson. You saw that one?
No, no, I haven't seen it just yet.
Oh, okay, it was on the Instagram, so you might have missed it. So it just reads so Will.T from Nelson, but formerly Ikitahuna. So he's acknowledged everything there about himself.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you watched the Women's Super Smash final yesterday, you would have seen the best sporting spectacle I've seen in the last 10 years. You're both an absolute disgrace for downplaying what this is. It was better than the 2023 NRL Grand Final. Amelia Kerr's performance was stronger than that of Nathan Cleary's in that final. It was also better than the 2015 Super Final, the 2019 Cricket World Cup Final, and any other sporting event I've ever seen. To be able to defend 100 on a bat-friendly wicket shows how amazing the performance of those girls was. You guys are disgusting. You need to follow this more. I'm going to unsubscribe for 2 episodes. When I come back, I expect to see more coverage of the Women's Super Smash.
Well, he's really punishing us with a unsubscribe, and then he's going to duck back into to check and monitor us again. So that's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think in regards to the content, I think the greatest ever sporting spectacle was probably a big shout because I think there's a few that would probably take the cake. I'm saying this as someone that didn't watch the Super Smash final because I couldn't think of anything worse to do. I could think of much better ways to spend my weekend. But yeah, I don't know. What were your thoughts as someone that actually did watch the game?
Yeah, no, I did watch it, and it was a good game. I'll give him that. But I just think, like, to expect us to cover it, and like the Super Smash is done now as well, so we're not going to be covering it. Like, we're not going to go back. We'll cover
Mm.
it in next season, like next year, 2026 Super Smash. So he just needs.
Will we?
Yeah, well, we'll get there. But I think like this guy wants
Mm.
us to start focusing on that with NRL and the Super Rugby's upcoming. Like,
Mm.
he sounds like a crazy guy, and yeah, Will
Yeah,
T from Nelson / Ikitahuna needs to maybe just start his own podcast if he wants to have a
yeah,
crack at us.
yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah,
um,
no, no, no. Thank you for that, though, Will T.
yeah. Anyway, we need to wrap up
Yeah.
because we're over 8 minutes in and we haven't even got to our content yet. What the listeners are after. So,
Mhm.
today previewing the Highlanders, Crusaders, and Hurricanes for the upcoming season. Less than a couple of weeks now before that gets underway. So, we're just going to run through best 23s. I'm going to do the Highlanders and the Crusaders today. Willie, you're going to do the Canes.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we'll just have a bit of a discussion around that, and then that'll pretty much wrap us up. So I'll start first with the Landers, start further south. So my front row for them, I've got Ethan de Groot, Henry Bell, and Salu Mau as their front row. You like that? You wouldn't make any changes?
No, no, I think you've got it there. You've hit the nail on the head.
Yep. Locks, I've gone Fabian Holland and Mitch Dunshea, so I do think that's a pretty decent lock pairing for Super Rugby. And then in the back row, I've got TK Howden at 6, who's obviously gone down from the Hurricanes. He had a real good season for Manawatu last season, and when he got chances with the Canes, he was good too. Sean Withy at 7, and Hugh Renton at 8. What do you think about that forward pack?
Yeah, like it's not too bad, but in terms of like the rest of the quality in the league, I think it's still quite a bit off the mark. Eh? Like, yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
that
think
is...
when you look at other teams, like their bench forwards would fucking get into that team straight away. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, no disrespect to the Highlanders either, because I know the fans from Dunedin don't mind chucking their fan mail in at us, so I'm probably going to get absolutely grilled up the wazoo now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I agree though with what you're saying. Like you look at that team, you go there. That's a pretty. It's a good front forward pack if you're looking at like NPC or something like that. And obviously
yeah,
there's
NPC, yeah,
a few couple of good like All Black. Well, Ethan de Groot's an All Black. Henry Bell's not a bad player. Um,
yeah,
Fabian Holland's close to the All Blacks. So there's a couple of guys.
yeah. New Zealand rugby's wet dream. Yeah,
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 yeah. But
yeah,
yeah, it's more of an NPC competitive forward pack than a Super Rugby competitive forward pack.
yeah,
All right, so moving into the back line, 9, 10. I've gone for, obviously, Falau Fakatava at 9, but I've gone Cam Miller at 10. They've got a few options at 10, like AJ Faleafunga and even like Finn Hurley potentially. And I feel like I'm missing someone now, but yeah, gone Cam Miller, just pretty steady. I think he's actually probably one of the better 10s in New Zealand at the moment, which says a lot about where our 10s are. So yeah, and then I've got my back three, Jonah Nareki and Tava Nawai on the wings, and Jacob Ratu Nipkins at fullback.
yeah,
And then the midfield, same as last year when they were healthy, Sam Gilbert and Taniela Talia. So
yeah.
you don't mind the back line or much the same?
Yeah, much the same. The back three's got some promise though. For
Mm.
like, that's a pretty decent back three. But yeah, for me, yeah, the midfield's probably not as potent as others. Like your Sammy Gilbert's not really doing it for me, but a decent enough player. But yeah, like I don't know, just still lacking a tiny bit of quality, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Tava is for me one of the best wingers in the country. Like I reckon he's
Yeah, yeah,
actually incredible. But the rest of it, again, it's still not better than what the other teams are going to put out. Like even
yeah,
Nipkins was good last year, and Nareki's always injured
yeah,
though.
yeah,
Talia and Gilbert are walking suspensions. They're both pretty well disciplined. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, we had them obviously finishing quite low in our season preview, and I think kind of if you look at the team, that's one of
That
the
reflects it.
yep.
Yeah,
And then I'll just quickly get onto the bench before you can jump into the Hurricanes. So I've got Sione Vakina as the reserve hooker. He's gone down from Auckland. Daniel Leonard Brown and Sasefa Kotai as their reserve props. Will Stoddart as their reserve lock, which are far out. They don't. I think they've only got 3 locks in the squad from what I saw.
mm,
Unless they're going to play Ollie Haig there, but Will Stoddart, who's still pretty bloody, not sure about him. Nikora Broughton is the reserve Lucy. James Arscott is the reserve 9. Finn Hurley is kind of like the reserve first 5 fullback. Can also play a bit of wing if need be. And then I've actually gone Caleb Tangitau, who's gone down from Auckland as like another wing cover. So I haven't got a midfielder on the bench, but I feel like Hurley and Tangitau probably warrant their spots
can cover that.
on the bench more so than some of the others. So yeah, any comments on the bench or?
Yeah, no, not really too much to say. I think just hitting the common themes there. Like
Mm.
that's not really a bench that's going to instill too much fear in you when they're rolling on, is it?
Yeah,
So
no, it's a pretty weak bench. So yeah, do you want to get into the Canes?
yeah, we'll bash the Canes out, eh? Starting props, obviously, Nemir and Lomax with Armour as hooker. The locks go for Caleb Delaney and Isaiah Walker-Leawere for the quota. The flankers we go the nose, Devin Flanders, Peter Lackey, and leg power, Braden Yosse. Then, well, thoughts on that
Yeah.
forward pack?
Yeah, a couple interesting ones. So you're talking about the Fijian quota, obviously, first before we get into it. Obviously, the
Yeah,
Fijian
yeah,
quota, but is he from Gizzy? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The obviously Karifi being left out is a hard one. I think the thing with our Lucies, obviously as Hurricanes fans, is that you can those 4 Devin Flanders, Lakai, Yosse, Karifi, they'll just alternate who's on the bench. I
yeah,
guess.
exactly. Yeah,
So it doesn't make too much.
there's no like
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And then I don't know if you've been DM'd by our sponsor, the Williams Farming Corporation, who obviously
Yeah, yeah,
has a little bit of a private role within one of these super sides that we might be talking about. He believes that Zach Gallagher might get a start for round 1, who obviously has come down from the Crusaders. So whether he starts over, is he from Gizzy or Caleb Delaney, I'm not so sure. But there's just a bit of inside knowledge. Are you aware of that
Okay.
inside knowledge or?
No, that's food for thought
Yeah.
though. I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't mind us taking it out to the public there.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's
yeah,
not a stuff article in the morning and he gets fired. So
yeah,
fingers crossed.
yeah. Nah,
Let's see how wide the reach is.
yeah. I guess it's gonna be a good test, isn't it? Yeah. So don't share that
Yeah,
information, community. We don't want the sponsor to get fired. And then yeah, front row.
yeah,
I mean, it's hard when you got the two best tight heads in the country, but I don't think they're gonna be starting Tossie over Lomax. Let's say if
no,
they
no,
got one or a grand final or anything. So, yep.
yeah.
Carry on, man.
Backs gone with Roy Guard and
That's a
Ho
big
Hipper to
call. I don't
start.
know about that.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a tough one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ho Hipper at 10, obviously with a bit of an injury crisis at 10. I think to start anyway, they'll swing his way. Midfield, Higgins, Proctor. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then back three of Kenny Naholo, Cade Banks, and Harry Godfrey. Cade Banks, the white Mark Talia. So looking
Yeah.
at, hopefully, fingers crossed he gets a good crack this year. Thoughts on that? Any changes, you mate?
Yeah, nah, it's that's pretty good, and I am glad you've included the white Mark Talia there. Both Harbour boys as well, so that's another reason why that nickname works. But yeah, I think that back three is what I'm hoping for throughout the whole season, even when Ruben Love's back or regardless of who comes back. I think Harry Godfrey is incredible. Like, I think one of the best talents in the country. I don't know if you saw the highlights. Probably couldn't over in England of the pre-season game against the Chiefs on the weekend, but Godfrey was the best player in the park pretty much whenever he was on. So yeah, he's gonna be awesome. He could be an option at 10, but I like him out the back. And yeah, Banks
Yeah, you
Nola.
like him out the back here? Yeah,
Yeah, I like him
yeah,
out the back. Yeah.
yeah,
And then yeah, Banksy, Talia, and Naholo. So
yeah,
that's pretty good. Midfield, obviously. 10, I would do something different. So obviously, the chat is that Ruben Love will start there when he's back, which it might still be like 5-6 weeks. But I'd actually go Callum Harkin at 10 over Riley Horhipper. Yeah, thought he looked better in that preseason game. I think he was better when he played for Wellington. He looked pretty steady. So I just don't. Riley Horhipper for me does nothing. I think he's the worst 10 in the country. And yeah, I don't want to see him anywhere near my team if that's right with you.
All right. Well, yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll go through reserves now. So we got Debris, Tossie, and Rakiti Stones. Then Gallagher, Depussy Karifi, Geordie Villian, Callum Harkin, and Sullivan
Yeah,
to
nice.
round it out for
Yeah.
versatility.
Mm. So yeah, obviously a few injuries there, but
Yeah, yeah,
I think I still think that's a pretty competitive side, and I still think it'll be a side that ends up no lower than fifth for the season. Um,
yeah,
the pack's really good, midfield solid, best halfback in the world, pretty good back three. So yeah, no, I think that'll be
yeah,
good. Yeah, sweet.
yeah.
Any final thoughts from you on your mighty Canes?
No, I think just a pretty well put together team. I think yeah, hopefully injuries don't derail us because it's pretty solid squad. So yeah,
Yeah, and obviously a wee bit to come back as well into that.
exactly.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Okay, and then finally Crusaders. So you look at this, they are a lot better than they were last year. So it is going to be interesting how they go. So up front three of Tamati Williams, Cody Taylor, and Fletcher Newell. Locks of Scotty Barrett, and I've gone Jamie Hanna ahead of Quinton Strange. Just I think he's kind of surpassed him now. And then I've got a loose trio of Ethan Blackett, Tom Christie, and Christian Leo Willie. I did include him as a friend of the show, of course.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Bias.
yeah, big
Yeah,
boss there, but
yeah.
he'll be on the potty at some stage this year. So yeah, any changes you'd make to that pack?
No, that's a pretty standard Crusaders packer, and it's that's pretty solid Super Rugby. Like that's just a nitty gritty kind of
Yeah.
such a Crusaders forward pack there. So yeah, they're looking pretty strong up front.
Mm. I will add though, and I don't know if I think you'll probably agree with me actually here. I do think Tom Christie's a wee bit overrated, but he's the only kind of out and out second
Yeah,
they've got. I just think
yeah,
for me, like he's one of those players that that kind of Canterbury region will talk up quite a bit, but at Super Rugby he actually misses quite a lot of tackles, and
yeah,
I don't know. I think he gives away more penalties than you'd want, considering how many. I don't know. I don't think he's actually that great, but
overhyped. Yeah, yeah,
he's the only one in that forward pack that I think's not great. I think the rest of them are awesome. So,
yeah,
yeah. And then at 9, I've got Noah Hotham. Obviously, he was an All Black last year, so he's got that jersey now. Gone James O'Connor at 10 just for experience. Back three of Macca Springer, Severus and Will Jordan, so that's pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
And then a midfield of Dave Havili and Levi Amua. Happy? Make changes?
Yeah. No, that's a pretty strong backline. Not massive on David Havili. I don't know if you're in the same boat or not, but yeah, I reckon that's pretty strong backline apart from him. I think he's a bit, but at Super Rugby level, he's
Yeah.
not too bad. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think it's pretty strong looking team.
Yeah. No, I agree that he's higher in the pecking order for the All Blacks than he should be, but yeah, Super Rugby's good. He's been a bit of a
Mm,
stalwart for this team for a while, so not surprising to see
yeah,
him there. I actually think Macca Springer as well. I think he's someone that needs to take a big jump this year. Like, I think he broke out a couple of years ago, and people were kind of
yeah,
expecting him to be elite last year, and I don't think he kind of lived up to it. But that was a
yeah,
struggling side. They obviously didn't even make the top eight, so I think that probably
mm,
contributed. But even for Tasman, I don't know if he was as strong as I expected. So I think he'll be
mm,
looking for a breakout year because if it doesn't
for a
happen,
big year.
he may not be an All Black. So I think this is the one that he has to take a big jump. And then the
Yeah,
bench, so they've got George Bell as a reserve hooker, obviously, it's an All Black, so that's pretty bloody good. And they've got George Bauer as the reserve, one of the reserve props is also an All Black. And then I've gone Finlay Brewis is the other one. And then Quinton Strange in the 19, Callum Grace in the 20. And then I've gone Kyle Preston in 21 after he obviously won the NPC with Wellington and was one of the best halfbacks in the comp. He's obviously setting all the Bronco, records and stuff down there. So
records and yeah,
having an unreal pre-season. And then I haven't gone a reserve first five cover on the bench because I just don't see why you'd bring Rivs Reihana or Taha Kemera
mm,
um, on for
O'Connor.
O'Connor. Like, just why?
Yeah,
So and if there's an injury, Havili can step in. So
and Philly can
gone
step in. Yeah,
gone Enor and Shea Fihaki. So yeah, it's a pretty
yeah,
standard. It's a pretty good team really if you look at that 1 to
yeah,
22. Mm,
yeah. No, very Crusaders team, isn't it? Like
yeah.
I think, like we say, definitely a bounce back expected this year with just a bit more class at 10, bit more like leadership, and then the rest of the pack looking pretty strong as well, getting
Mm.
back to where we kind of expect them to be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so interested to see how they go this year. Round one is actually Crusaders at home to Hurricanes, so that'll be a good game. So yeah, so no, that pretty much wraps us up for this one. So the next one we're going to do Blues, Chiefs and Moana Pacifica, so that'll drop either, they'll probably drop next week or later
Yeah,
this week. But before we finish, Willie's
yeah.
loving
I've
this
just got a
segment.
quick,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, just got a quick scenario here. Obviously, one of our favourite segments, sponsored by Williams Farming, where you go for your dairy farming, grass, fish, any needs you have, you got a need, they'll fix you out. So we got. Would you rather have a sleepover with Israel Dag and Corey Jane, who are on the Red Bulls and sleeping pills all night, or would you rather spend a month on a desert island with Ali Williams?
Oh, you put me in a tough position here. All right, so um, you put me in a tough position because I don't want to speak as if I would do anything illegal at any point in terms of
Mm,
what I put in my body. But I can't spend any time with Ali Williams. It could be. Did you say a
yeah.
month?
Maybe I'll do 2 weeks because a
Okay.
month is a long time. Yeah.
I was gonna say a day. I'm still opting for the Corey Jane Izzy Dag party. I just
What about okay? What about half a day and Ali Williams has coke?
I'll still just hang out with Corey Jane and Israel Dag and drink some Red Bulls. I think I just Ali
Yeah, and
Williams.
the sleeping pills as well. Seeing who can stay up
Oh,
the longest. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
just don't. I don't think I can.
Prime 2011 World Cup. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think Ali Williams. Nah, I can't do it. So yeah, I'm gonna opt for the CJ Izzy Dag Red Bulls. What about yourself?
yeah. Fair enough. If Ali Williams has got the coke, I'll probably do it with him for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. If he doesn't, then it's obviously get on the pills and Red Bulls with the other lads.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, as you can see, I really want to speak about this. Um, no, that's all right. Anyway, New Zealand. So let us know your thoughts on that scenario. Let us know your thoughts on our best 23s for the Landers, Canes, and Crusaders. We want you to let us know what you would change.
Yep.
And yeah, if you've got fan mail, voicey, or just a written email like from will.t, send it in. And we're happy to read them at the start or end of show. So yeah, final thoughts from you, London man?
No, I think that's about it. I think better get off before we incriminate ourselves but anymore.
Yeah, I think so. All right, catch you later,
All
community
right.
couch.